So, um, today I want to um, go over a viewing party on my open letter to Chief Warhorse. I tagged Phoenix Moon, hey, how y'all doing, in the post because I want her to be able to see this. When I watched the viewing party, I loved how defensive the Phoenix Moon and the brother Ishmael Bey was of our elder, Chief Warhorse. I do not have one ill reception to the reviews because she was coming from the position of protecting the interests of one of the most important chiefs on the land. I loved all of the critique, right? I enjoyed her speaking from the heart, speaking her mind, and I can't wait to meet the sister and talk to her myself so she'll understand my perspective. Now, there's a couple of misunderstandings that I wanted to clear up is when I sent the people to support Chief Warhorse, I wasn't looking for anything other than to send them to the elder who had the correct information and had the blood rights to have a say in what goes on this land. And I have to tell him what I see because it is the responsibility of the chief that if he sees something that affects the collective clans, he put it in the public domain so that the other clansmen and the chiefs can look and examine it and determine if they choose to take a course of action. They don't have to take no action on that, and I say. But when I send people to tell them, I say hi, and then I heard that she was willing to meet with me, I was fanned out. I was that 12-year-old white girl in front row of Michael Jackson concert that fainted. Chief Warhorse will talk to me? I'm ecstatic. High reverence for the elder, for the work, for the struggle, for the suffering, and for the insight into the community of people who we are. A lot of these lies that's been taught to us about our history, she ironed a whole sizable portion of it out by explaining the Trail of Tears alone. So yeah, y'all wanted to know who got the information. Rodhayes say Chief Warhorse got the information, she got the blood, and she got the right if she so choose to pull rank on this government now. They have to obey her because guess what? The people know now that their clans are coming to a self-awareness of who we are on this land, and that I talk about everything that's been fed to us. Everything. I've studied everybody's shit so that I can go over what they've been using to enslave us mentally and by default mislead and deceive us into believing that they legitimate over here. They don't got nothing to do with us. The tribes don't got nothing to do with the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. It wasn't even signed over here, right? Chief Pontiac whooped the French in Fort Detroit, and Toussaint whooped them in Haiti. That made them have to go pack tail and leave. They sent us back to Statue of Liberty to tell us that we was being manipulated by a drag queen, the Pope. See, I'm not talking about the imposters. They don't got nothing to do with me. I only care about these motherfucking feather wearing, powwow having, fire dancing, Mardi Gras celebrating, organics from. They done told us we was African Americans, we was black folks, colored folks, mulattoes, quadroons, octroons. They told us all this stuff just to make us not know who we was at the close of the age. We at the close of the age. This land belongs to these women from the mothers of our clans. That's who it belonged to. They got the first right to the earth right to reclaim the land to protect the babies for the next 7 generations, and there's no law in the known universe that contradicts it. So we use what they said against them in order to get the understanding of how our original system worked, because we got to go back before they brought their Bible and their laws over here to usurp us. We got to go back to our stuff, the law of the land, the matriarchal order. This is the only way we're going to ever get this juggernaut off our back. Is it still freezing? Is the video still freezing? Okay, so tell me, can y'all hear me now before I cut out of this video? Because if y'all can hear me, then I don't have to cut out the video. But my energy going up, and as my energy going up, it's interfering with the frequency. That's all we doing is moving energy, right? So the energy right now need to be moved to Cooking with the Chief, and our support need to go to Cooking with the Chief. If she need donations, we need to send her donations. What if she need foots on the ground? We need to send her foots on the ground. I don't know what she needs. She got the call for it. But by me telling the public, from what I see right now, this is the chief with the blood and the rights. What do she got the right? Anything she want. She got the blood and the right. So if she got the blood and the right, and I know she also did the work, and she got the data, the information, she got the maps, she got the history. I'm going to tell y'all, support Chief Warhorse. Y'all can cut me off at that point and kick me back to the curb that I came from. It's ain't got nothing to do with what I want. It don't have nothing to do with what I want. If I want, I wouldn't have never did all of this work, because I'd have been able to take advantage of being lazy. That's not what I want. I want the people who did the work to be properly respected for the work they done. Some of them we like, some of them we don't like. I'm not taking sides with nobody. I'm just telling people what I see. If I see this, this is what I see. Well, she got the blood and the right. And if they can understand what I'm saying, because sometimes my diction be more science based. It be more or metaphysical, or sometimes I'll flip signs. And that tend to lose a lot of people. But it tends to allow it to go to different pay grades of people. Right? So when it lose you, I done sent it above your pay grade. So now I got to use a different approach. So now I can be more on a 3D right here in your face level. And from a 3D level, Chief Warhorse need all of the clans to support her in her work. That's all I'm saying. Y'all don't have to support rodhayes no more. I send people, I'm asking the question, how do I get in touch with Chief Warhorse? And some of the people get overzealous because they want to see this energy flowing in the right direction, the right people who got the right blood ties to the land to make law on the land. We had to first get rid of the maritime law, the legal fiction, the corporate jurisdiction of the Uniform Commercial Code that was deceiving us and leaving us out of all forms of socioeconomic development, community development. It was tearing down our families as fast as we tried to rebuild them. So what do? We have to identify all problems in the society. And if you make a discovery that affects the collective clans across the land, you share that discovery until everybody can understand who's doing the work that tells you who you are, where you don't have to come from outer space. You don't have to come on no slave ship. You was already here because here wasn't here until we built it. And if it cannot stay hostile and bloody, it has to evolve into another form of warfare in order for the fight to continue without anybody losing until somebody finally loses. They brought that Bible over here and indoctrinated us with it. So the people over here, mine is biblically indoctrinated. So when I bring up the 4 horses of the apocalypse, they know what I'm talking about. I could easily explain that to them because I know what it says and I know the symbolism that's tied to it that they use to trap us into this rundown, the whole map with the receipts. At first, people didn't think I had receipts until I produced the receipts. And they was like, where did you get this Negro from? Right? So, I studied everybody's stuff. If they own this land and they got a doctrine that's tied to our oppression, I need to know what it say in order to tell y'all how to defend against, right? They didn't have an answer for the dirt they did. They was so caught up in the dirt that they couldn't even remember how we got here. So they didn't know what they did to us or what they did to themselves to put all of us in this system together. Mama said the good had to suffer with the bad until we figured it out. Well, it's figured out now. They look like us. The motherfuckers ain't us. They came from all parts of the place, but they didn't come from here. And just like they didn't come from here, they can start to lead. No, I'm probably not even supposed to be doing a live. She did it that way because we ain't on no secret squirrel shit over here. That's what got us in this. We let them people come over here on that secret squirrel shit, keeping shit from us. And they was putting it in our face behind our back. Now we doing all this in their face. So yeah, everything that she said in that video, it was from the passion she had to Tech Chief Warhorse. I'm all with that. I'm all with that. I would like to get to know her and that brother because they seem like good people to communicate with. But I'm just telling y'all what I see from the research I've done on who we are and how we move on the land. And from my research, we are supposed to support Chief Warhorse, whatever she want us to do. And that's all it is to it. And I might sound extreme when I say she had the blood right to call us to war, but she does, but she probably won't because she a mother. The mothers don't like war. That's that patriarchal father shit that they be playing war games with their son, having them fist fight in the basement and all that kind of stuff. That's not how the mothers operate. That's why she teach you to respect your elders, respect a man as a man, and he'll treat you like a man with the same respect you gave him. Every now and then, somebody gonna be disrespectful when you within your rights to punch them in their shit and keep it moving, right? But sometimes we get carried away in responding to the disrespect. But then sometimes we understand that it's not disrespect. It's proper perspective from the position of the person while they are looking at what they looking at. And from that perspective, they can best see how it makes them feel not knowing who this person is, saying the things that he's saying. It's supposed to make you feel a certain kind of way. If it don't, the energy not moving. If the energy is moving and the energy is moving correctly, then now you start to see how it's supposed to go. Because I can send you there. I can send you there recklessly, but when you get there, you're going to have to still show respect in order to be able to get what you went there to get, right? Now, my recklessness doesn't have to come from a place of malice. It could just be coming from a place of me speaking what I know I see, and other people might not be able to grasp what I'm telling them until they go hear for themselves. If I tell you somebody is a really good lecturer and you should hear their lectures, I probably can't explain to you why I like their lecture style. I probably can't explain to you how they deliver the lecture. But when you hear them, you say, oh, now I understand what you meant. Right? So, the Sister Phoenix she did a good job. She was able to express her concerns as she viewed the video, but a lot of the questions self-answer in the video, but that's not the protective instinct listening. That's the intellect. When the protective instinct listening, key words cause hostility to burn in the passion. When I mention the word war, right, and the right to call war, that's to stir energy, right? When you know the energy moves the people and gets their attention in the right place when you use selective language. She has that power. Don't mean she gonna use that power or abuse that power. Because with great power comes great responsibility. And in the times that we in, Big Mama not gonna put no power in nobody that's irresponsible hand at these particular times. You know? So it said I had some questions, but ain't nothing doing but buffering. So we at the finish line. This is Rap City. The thing now is the understanding of us as a people. They told us all these lies to who we were. I had to iron all of the lies out in order to see who was lying to us, how they was lying to us, and who was telling us the truth the whole time that they told us was lying to us or was crazy or didn't know what they was talking about, right? I had to figure that out. But once I figure it out, if it affected clans, I got to put it in the public domain. Right now, the most important person for us to support, the word is support, give aid and assistance. Ain't no big eyes and no little U's to Chief Warhorse. For the work that she did and the suffering she endured and the information that she's going to be delivering, it's going to help us understand our position on the land. And as long as we can understand who we are and how we move. I told you how we use music because I'm a high priest. I know how we use the music. We tell the story in the entertainment, in the arts and the crafts, right? But they don't think that we remember our ancient traditions. And because they wrote us off and they had to bring one of us that ain't been here in a long time that remember the ancient tradition because he wasn't here during all of the brainwashing. So they conjure you up, call you forth. Come fix this problem. Big Mama needs you. She'll pull you from wherever she needs you in the known and unknown universe in order to never fail us. Sometimes you have to endure to the end in order to find out what you was enduring for. Sometimes you suffer not knowing that you chose to suffer in order for you to be able to be stronger as a person. in order for you to be in the position at the right time to help the most of your people you can help. Right? So I'm all with Sister Phoenix Moon. I'm 100% in support of what she said. I apologize if she felt like I broke protocol in trying to reach out to Chief. That wasn't my intentions, and that wasn't my question. But when you have people that's ready to see everything go where it's supposed to go, some of them get overzealous. I get overzealous. So a lot of my times I talk, my overzealous disposition might sound rude and obnoxious. But when the politics ain't correct, it's hard for me to remain politically correct. And all of this dog and pony show need to be over. And we need some people that's supposed to be telling us what's going on the land. Why is these clans out of order? We need to know. Yeah. So, I'm all with sometimes you gotta punch a motherfucker in the face to do what's right. I understand that's necessary. Give a motherfucker a throat chop in order to do what's right. I understand all that, But my big mama sent me on a mission. My mama sent me on a mission. I'm on a mission. Ain't nothing to be talked about. It's not negotiable. Who I'm going to negotiate with? Because they ain't here. So now it's just me. And I was born for a purpose. And the purpose was to tell the clans who's in charge of what. Where do I see them at? Why do I say that? And it's always based on one soul or one set of things: works, deeds, and suffering. We the ones who was at the bottom. So I know if we trying to do any work in our community for our people, we gonna do some suffering. We gonna have our own people in confusion, thinking they doing what's better than what you doing, trying to take what you doing and make you do what they doing. That's not how it worked with the clans. The ones who is about what's right gonna show you who about what's right. And that's all I was trying to do. I wasn't even trying to really, I just wanted to know who sent people to give her aid and support. When I said telling rodhayes sent you, that was like me saying, hey, I see you, sister. I see what you've been doing all these years. And now that I have drawn the attention of a sizable portion of people, I want them to see what I saw you teaching when I seen you teaching on those PBS TV shows, in the rerun reels and all that stuff that we've been watching clips of all over the place. We need to hear that. That's necessary for the people in the community. And she's going to teach it like the mother that she is. And we going to get it from a mother's perspective about her children being in disorder. She's going to correct all of that in the love that the mother teach with. Our first teachers was our mothers. But some of us didn't get the lesson we're playing down pat. That's where they can't follow the assignment. Sometimes we get so overzealous following the assignment that we forget to show the lesson plan. And the lesson plan is drop them receipts. So me and Young Elder be trying to drop the receipts as much as possible so they'll see that this is not something that we's pulling out of our AWS. This is the real deal. This is where they did this to us. They said they was doing this to us. They told us this in their law. They even told us their law was fake. They told us that the crime was only here because it was commercial. All crime is commercial. And so if all crime is commercial, it's a money-making scheme that they used to exploit us. Yep. IRS been absorbed by the Treasury. We trying to get away from these unjust taxes, which we most likely will when organic people position themselves on the land. Remember, we operating from the Indigenous Rights Act in government right now, and we operating from the continuity of government And artificial intelligence is using the law of efficiency to redistribute the money to hold the illusion in place as long as possible. They just gave us a warning that it might not be able to hold, the AI might not be able to appropriate finance beyond June the 1st with the little money they have left to try to run their system. Right? So, apparently the military intelligence has been bankrupting those banks that was using us as collateral. Once they got us from out of them as collateral, they didn't have any way to sustain a prolonged period of exploitation. Right? Well, it's a lot of stuff going on the land. A lot of us understand and a lot of us don't. It's even more of us that don't understand it, that need people with patience and understanding to try to explain to them where they can understand what's taking place on the land and with the land, right? All of those treaties they signed was fraudulent. They was all based on a fraud. None of them have a legal standing to be here, but they drug it out as if they did because we didn't know how to assert our superior claim of right and jurisdiction by going back to our tribal oral tradition of how we do business. And the chief that discovers it has to keep saying it over and over in ad infinitum until a sizable portion of the community understand what's taking place on the land, where they can branch off and start teaching each other. The women will start forming sister groups so they can understand more about the femininity and the understanding of the matriarchy. The men will start forming into physical fitness groups and mentoring groups for the boys. And we start setting up educational programs and all of the feeding programs and stuff for the people who haven't even figured out who they is yet. All this stuff got to be done. Ain't no more of that hungry shit. Should nobody sleep on the street unless they choose to. Right? Unless you out camping because you want to be out camping, you shouldn't be without a roof over your head. Right? You should be able to have clean clothes on a regular basis. Right? You should be able to eat on a daily basis. At least once. If it's your choice. That's how we feel on the land. We were generous enough to let these people come, and they were selfish enough to try to take what they wasn't supposed to take. And now we have to be generous enough to give them every fucking thing they owe. Good, bad, or indifferent. And we got to be selfish enough to take everything back that they took. We act like that, but we still moving the energy. We still getting the eyes where they belong. For the people that did the work, the reward is imminent. And if I see somebody that did the work, I'm putting them in the front for everybody else to know that they did the work. Whether you like their work or don't like their work had nothing to do with me. I just want us to overcome the obstacle we was faced with when they came and tried to tell us they brought us on slave ships in chains and shackles and they can't produce a slave ship. Right? They said that we from Africa, but we was already here when they got here. So how do they know where we came from? Right? They uncovered my village that we all left from to fight Gullah Wars. But when we left our villages to fight in the Gullah Wars and the Island Wars, right, the Brazilian Wars, the Argentine Wars, when we left our village, as soon as we get a 30 million of us that's over here, as they say, I think it's more of us than that, to not participate in their system, it's over with for them. The game is over. We won. Our people just don't understand that the gig is up. The imposters got caught with the hen in the cookie jar. Now I'm chopping off their arms. They got caught with the hen in the cookie jar. Right? So, by telling the people who did the work, I ain't doing nothing wrong. By showing them where to find the people that did the work, That's not doing nothing wrong. Now, when somebody is willing to talk to me, I'm willing to talk to them. I ain't ducking nobody. Because sometimes you gotta have a conversation for them to even feel you out. Right? Some people get mad because they not me, and then they attack me later. I don't care. I'm still gonna do the work. I don't care how many naysayers come, how many detractors and people come to tear you down. I'm expecting that. The obstacle is the way. We got no problem with doing shit hard.